This is Ranger Kidwell Ross. I'm the director of the World Sweeping Association and the editor of worldsweeper.com. Today we have a very informative presentation for you, the first of two parts. It is with a gentleman named Daniel Stauty, and Daniel is the son of Carl and Lori Stauty, who began commercial power sweeping in 1986. And they have since not only won a number of awards, but have raised a son who has taken over their building maintenance division, which is an enormous side of the commercial power sweeping organization, Daniel. To see the stature of the company that we'll be talking with today, these are the different awards and honors, and probably not all inclusive, the commercial power sweeping has won. I'm pleased that the company is an advisory board and founding member of the World Sweeping Association. They were the second company in the country to be NAPSA certified as a certified sweeping company through that organization. They were our Award of Excellence in Power Sweeping early on in 2013. And more recently, last year, they were Sweeper of the Year with Pavement magazine. And that is also an enormous honor on the national scale. Daniel today will be discussing these variety of topics in part one of our two-part series and Zoomcast with Daniel, pavement patching and repair, and all the things that might go into that. Signage, which they do all manner of signage, and suggested signage that's needed on properties, and traffic control, and some of the different things that go along there. And we'll also be talking about how they develop their sub network, how they work with their subs, and how they decide which projects to do on their own and which to sub out. Part two of our Zoomcast will be this one, where we'll be discussing the variety of exterior services the company provides, and then the interior services the company provides. And they have a very large section that is seasonal and event decoration for some number of their 250 total properties that they sweep and manage. So with that as way of introduction, let me introduce you to the actual person we'll be talking today, the guy with all the knowledge, Daniel Stauty. So Daniel, thanks for joining us today. So Daniel, welcome to our Zoomcast on this really important topic of all the other things you can do besides sweep when you're a parking area sweeper. And if you would start off with a little bit about your background and how you got started in this. I know you probably had the commercial power sweeping logo on your baby bottle at some point back in time, but tell people about that.
No, absolutely. Thank you for having me. Grew up with it, with it being a family business with mom and dad both running it. Kind of grew up around it, especially around dinner table, but been full-time with the company since I was right after high school. And so now we're going on 14 years in the industry, and started cleaning trucks as a young age, and then slowly developed through each phase of the business.
And you have, as I recall, you said something like 250 parking lot clients, and that. Let's talk about that a little bit. The size. Let's just develop some.
Yeah, the portfolio we have on the retail sweeping is we're roughly over 250 shopping centers, and we're up to close to 30, right at 30 employees now with 3 shifts. We have our parking lot sweeping division, our street sweeping division, and then what we're here to talk about, which is the parking lot maintenance division. the variety of services you can add on top of your retail sweeping division.
All right. So I guess let's just launch into those different topics. We are starting with pavement patching and repair, the things that a sweeper operator would see as he's operating. And maybe start with what do you tell your operators to look for? Do you have them alerted to look for things on the pavement?
Oh, absolutely. We have a system with our drivers for any item that they see while they're on their route. If they turn it in, a photo of if it's a pothole or any other service that we might offer. And once they turn the photo in, we'll then do a site inspection or send that to the customer. 9 times out of 10, they're, we all know they're at night, so it's best to go during the day and see the pothole or what areas they've arose to us, and then from there we'll do a quote and send it to the customer. And nine times out of 10, they'll award us the job if we bring it to them first.
All right, and so let's go through the different kinds of services that you provide, and if there's one that you don't provide yourself, and we'll talk about that at some point, how you work with other contractors in your area and how that kind of works.
Oh yeah.
But I guess pavement patching or asphalt patching would probably be the first one.
Yeah, so we do pothole patching in-house. We is as far as that, we run a hot box. We have our own equipment to be able to saw cut and repair the area correctly with hot mix. And then we also do a variety of different services for the pothole repairs. We'll use epoxies, 2-part epoxies to covered alligated areas as well. Anything crack filling, we do crack filling as well. We'll do striping and seal coating on top of that.
So do you have any kind of illustrations of any of that type of thing that we can take a look at? And when you talk about alligatoring, that's those cracks that run in pavement that you see.
Yeah, that's where the base failure hasn't, the base hasn't completely failed yet. Mm-hmm. And where they're spider webbed. So instead of, saw cutting and removing it, we've got a few different products that are great to eliminate the water penetration and to solve it without having to excavate it. And so it's a cheaper alternative sometimes. And it's also the products we use can be used year round. So it doesn't matter if it's winter or not. So,
and to be
but
clear,
I do have some photos.
Yeah, well, to be clear, one of the big problems, and you're in Virginia, with cracks in the pavement is the water gets in and then freeze and thaw over time, that those just become potholes. And
yeah, correct. Yeah, we can catch them on the front end, and so we can cut the call, instead of having to come in and remove everything, you can send 2 guys and put the epoxy down versus having to have a whole crew and obviously the expense too to saw cut and remove everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Is what we're seeing here is an epoxy job. Talk about that.
Yeah, so the epoxy we use in certain areas that are alligated, or if it's a high traffic spot that we need to, it's another alternative repair versus saw cutting and remove. And here you can see it was the seam had failed, and we did this repair, and we'll come back and crack fill the areas on the rest of the property. This was just one phase of the project. It's a great alternative, especially in high traffic areas where if you don't want to remove or don't need to remove the base, you can use this product. And it's a permanent repair. It's not just a quick fix.
Yeah. And what, do you know what that's called offhand?
So we use Flexset. They make asphalt and concrete repairs.
Mhm.
And they also have additives that you can use temperature based below 55 degrees. So it will set off. So you can use it in any time, anywhere around the country as well.
Mhm.
So I believe they are based out of the West Coast, the company. So your shipping cost is going to be a little higher if you're on the East Coast.
Makes sense. Okay. All right. What's next?
So for our any I think you were asking about for the patching setup we run. Generally, we have a hot box. There's a variety of them. We try to keep everything under CDL. It's easier for us to find employees. So we have a 2-ton hot box that we tow with our dump truck so that we're able to open the hole and fill it as soon as we open it. A 2-ton hot box, you're looking at about 25 grand. Depend on the make or model. We recently just upgraded ours last year. We try not to have anything open or exposed for the trip and fall hazard. As we all know, a lot of calls, these potholes come in from that issue,
Right.
not just for the life of the asphalt. You kind of self-contain, you're able to be on site, open it, fill it in, and open it back up to traffic quickly.
Yeah. And, that's certainly a sell to your customer too, if you can't leave something like that as a trip and fall hazard. Plus, it gets more expensive over time, as it gets bigger and so forth too. So this photo is the repair of what we were just looking at, to be clear, right?
Yes, yeah, this was damage from the dumpster company changing them out.
Mhm.
So you can tell just the weight of the truck, it had damaged that area. So we had come in, it had gone down and actually done a thicker base underneath to hold the weight of the truck unloading.
Mhm.
So in our asphalt patching, we in-house do everything, probably no bigger than 20 by 20. We have our own roller, mini excavator in case for those size projects and we saw cut everything, repair the base, and then tack coat and obviously lay new hot mix down and then compact.
Mhm. Okay. So Daniel, it's fine that you do all these services and you've done them, a lot of them for a long time. There's still some that you don't do, I know, in-house. But if you wouldn't mind, for the contractors out there that are just looking to get into doing these other side services, the way to start with that oftentimes is to work with a contractor in your area that just does striping or seal coating or something like that. Now, pothole patching, that's easy to do. Graffiti removal, power washing. I recommend the contractors just go tackle that. But let's use striping as an example. If you're not ready to go and get a striping machine and start striping and take on learning that, or hiring somebody that is an experienced striping person, what would you say when you go out to a striping contractor? First off, how might you vet them in your neighborhood or in your market area? And then what would you say to them when you talk to them?
So we've been hired by seal coating or striping contractors to sweep before their projects, and actually or paving contractor is a good way to get linked up on the pothole side, because they're interested in paving. We have an asphalt contractor that handles paving because that's not a service we do in-house.
Mhm.
So but they may be using you already for your sweeping services. And it's a great way, you already have a relationship built that you can go to them for either picking up those services for them. Like we do a lot of patching for our paving contractor vendor that's a sub of ours. So he handles all of our large paving projects for our customers. And we'll also do patching for him. So it works both ways. But he's a patching, seal coating, and a striper. So he was a good way for us to help him out with projects, but also learn how to pick up the smaller stuff, to get into it yourself instead of tackling the monster head on, you can. So and that's for any service that we don't provide. Like we have a concrete contractor that handles large pours. We try to keep everything in-house to certain small dimensions. But by having a good vendor or contractor team is a good way to also educate yourself on those services and learn from them and work with them on projects. So because they'll use us for street sweeping or parking lot sweeping on their projects. So like I said, you're working together, and then therefore you have a full team for these parking lot and management owners and customers.
Mhm. And then if you don't have a relationship, or are starting a relationship, you can do that in any of a couple ways. One is that you can just refer your customer to them and tell them, you work with these guys, more often than they're going to. So, chances are they'll get a real good job. Or you can provide some oversight, since they're your existing customer now, for which you will charge. Might be 15, 30%, whatever you decide. And then you can either bill them, or they can be billed directly by the sub, what we'll call the subcontractor, the guy, the paver, or so forth. And then they can either bring a markup in for you out of what they bill, or you can mark up the project and then bill your contractor directly. You were saying that earlier, that one of the things that your contractors like about working with you is when they get done, they get paid.
Oh, immediately. If we have a subcontractor working under us on any project, once they finish, we pay them same day that they hand us the invoice, before we've even invoiced ourselves and waited to pay from our customer. We try to keep those them contractors on good standing. So if we need an emergency, which we all know, most of these services are pretty much on like a on call.
Yeah.
For what they are. So a lot of times, we don't plan or can't plan to the best of our ability. It's when the phone rings, we go. And so at least we always know that we can depend on them.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we give our customer the option of referring to them or just having us handle the situation. We leave it to their discretion, and most times they, if we have a great relationship with them, they would rather just have us oversee it. And then, especially for out-of-state owners, we got quite a few of them, where they don't have a local management firm working or managing the properties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they have a management company managing the property, that's going to cost them money anyway. So you just as well have that override yourself, charge for your time and so forth as well. And then how do you make sure they did a good job? Do you,
Carl and I will be the ones to meet with them prior and post. So we'll physically do the meeting with the contractor on site and review what we're doing and then review after they're done. We have a work order policy that, you know, we provide before and after photos for every job. So and then we also have another program we use. It's essentially a group messaging app that all of our accounts are on, with all our employees are on. So they upload their job photos that way. You can add PDF site maps, and then our customers even use it too. So if they're on site and see something and want it done, or real time, they're getting updated to how the project's going.
wow, that's great. That's the kind of thing that keeps people coming back. There's no question.
It's been a great tool, and you know, as we know, pictures 1,000 words, so it's it you know, it takes any questions out of it.
So that concludes the first part of our two-part series on the different services that you can provide to your customers besides just power sweeping on a commercial basis. And I want to remind you that the second part of our series is Daniel will be talking about these different topics that you see here. From exterior services, you know, day porting, large item removal, painting, graffiti, what things you can do on the interior interior of the structures that your clients have, and then they do a lot of seasonal and event decoration services as well. So with that, I want to leave you with the thought that you may well want to join if you are a power sweeping contractor of the World Sweeping Association. We offer over 250 articles targeted just for sweeping contractors to make their companies better. We have over 100 podcasts with successful sweeping contractors from around the country. And you'll receive a bulletin from me every 2 weeks on the 1st and 15th of the month on a variety of topics with links and so forth designed to make your business better, such as this Zoomcast is. And we always want to talk about those discounts that a number of the sweeper manufacturers have been nice enough to provide on their parts, from 15 to 20% and much more. So you can find us at worldsweepingpros.org, or just look up World Sweeping Association with Google or your favorite search engine, and you'll be sure to find us. If you do have questions, send an email to director@worldsweepingpros, that's PROS.org, and I'll do my best to get answers for you. If I don't know the answers, we'll find somebody who does. All right. Thank you very much. Good sweeping.